welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt. With me today is Debbie G of Spirituality Gone Wild. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. And I'm especially happy that Friday is here. Hooray! I can wait for the summer. I'm telling you this. I'm in the midst of craziness right now, Debbie. I'm absolutely in the midst of craziness because we have a gardening service business, and this is like the hot time of year to do gardening. And everybody is coming out of the woodwork. I think people have decided that COVID is over, and they said, "Okay, let's go outside, call the gardener. We got to clean up the yard. Let's go." So it's been. I'll put it to you this way: we have twice as many gardeners on staff this year compared to last year, and our backlog is twice as long. So that'll give you an idea of what it's like. It's been crazy.
I'm loving this. And actually what I'm hearing you say is that your LOA is working.
Oh. It's working. I mean, I actually need to learn how to moderate it a little bit. It's working overtime.
Oh my God, I'm loving this. This is crazy. So how awesome is that you're just so busy that you're like thanking God it's Friday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In fact, just a day or two ago on the show, I you know how it is today with everything is done electronically. Well, ours is basically a cash business. So we get checks all the time. Everything is checks. And because I deposit them electronically, they aren't going into the bank. They're going into a file folder. Well, I pulled out the file folder for like the last 2 months, and it was this thick wad. It was like, you see the ads where somebody's holding up a wad of $100 bills all fanned out. I was fanning out my checks. I was thinking, oh my God, there's like 150 checks in this pile. This is crazy. So, yeah, it's been really quite the experience. And
I'm just like so happy right now. And I just want to celebrate that with you. That's awesome,
you. Yeah.
Walt.
It is awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, I love that. I have this huge feeling of compersion for you.
I'm getting to really like that word, by the way, compersion.
Compersion, joy. We celebrate each other's accomplishments.
Mm.
It's just like it's just a feel good type of deal, man. Just to see,
it really is.
To see you smile and to see that lightness of no stress. I mean, sure, there's things that come into place like needing to get an assistant. You probably need to do that. But just, having things in our life that come up that do keep us busy. But if you love in what you do, it's loving you.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I won't say there hasn't been stress. There definitely has been stress. I mean, when you go through major growth, stress is going to be a part of it. Let's just be perfectly straight about that.
Totally.
But it's also great to know that, know the stuff that I've learned over the years, how to be a conscious creator, how to make my shifts in vibration and all that kind of stuff, because that's enabled me to manage a lot of it a whole lot better than I would have been able to do even 5 years ago. I mean, it's a really big deal. Something else I'm going to tell you about too. This is not firm yet, but David Strickel is getting ready to do his next TYA boot camp, and he reached out to me and said, "You want to come in as an affiliate?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm like slammed right now." And then I got like this little internal feeling that said, "No, go do it. You need to get it done." And so I said, "All right, second thought." So I went back to David. Anyway, long story short, he and I are going to do a stream session Tuesday night, and then I think I'm going to step into the boot camp because I really want to take it to the next level for myself. Yeah.
Well, hold tight, cowboy. did I just hear you say you're about to take the step into TYA?
I think I am. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, see, I'm always in for growth, and I'll do whatever steps I need to take in order to grow. I mean, lately I've been really feeling the pressure, and I think that's what my initial reaction was about. But the more I thought about it, I said, this I know what David's about. I know what the stream's about. I know that they're good stuff. Just do it. Just get it done. Go for it. So.
I love this, and the reason I love it is because this is I'm so excited for you. Here's why. Because you're going to get to put new practices in that you've never even thought of before. No matter how long we have been at this thing called life, and no matter how many practices we get, you can never get enough. But I'll tell you one thing about TYA, Trust Your Abundance, is it really gives you some practices that are practical. You can use them all the time, and they're super easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I mean, you get to design your life through this process in a way that you guys never have. I have been a graduate for a couple, God, 2 going on 3 years now. It's like I don't even know how long. Might even be 3 years. I can't say enough good things about it. It's truly changed my life. And now, Walt, if you do that, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Oh, you're going to tell me what you're going to do. Okay.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is all.
you may have to change the way you say it in order for me to understand it, but that's okay.
What am I going to do is I'm going to do this. It is simple. I'm going to make a commitment. If you do it, Walt, I will redo my boot camp experience, because every couple of years, you really need to redo the boot camp experience.
Wow. Okay.
So if you do it, Walt, I'll join you, and then I'll come into the sessions and I'll hang out with you. I know who you should reach out to for a mentor too. That would be Brent Howell.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. He'd be or Dan. If Dan is doing,
I know he's going through it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, that's what the cool thing is because you actually get you have a mentor in this experience, and it's just rad. So if you do it, I'll redo my boot camp commitment, and I'll do all the modules all over again. That's kind of another thing too. You get the modules like forever, and you can keep doing them. There's also a money one too, a money mindset, which seriously, if anybody's going to teach money mindset, it should be David Strickel, because dude's like, oh man, crazy. He's like manifesting just incredible. I'm reading the first book of Law of Attraction. Oh, are you reading Andrew's book, Marissa? I totally saw that just now and it pulled me. Anyway,
yeah,
so we got a deal?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Y'all heard it here right now, right on LOA Today.
And plus, the way I'm looking at it too, not only is it going to be good for my own personal growth, and it's going to be good doing it with you, but it's going to give me good stuff to talk about on the show. Totally. And I always like to add content for the show, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a win-win-win, right? It's
a win-win-win all the way around. I want to say, Ellie, what's up? Ellie, I'm going to be in the Palm Springs area again on the weekend of the 24th. So if you're going to be around, girl, I am so excited right now about this whole experience and the thought that you would be doing this. This is killer.
By the way, I got to point out, Kelly Bird is saying hello to you too at the top.
Hi, Kelly. Hi. You guys are just so awesome. Okay, so listen, can I do a switchy? Can I switchy poo just a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Where are we going?
So I found out a couple of days ago that it's Mercury retrograde, and I'm going to tell y'all, I have been so busy, I didn't pay attention to its Mercury retrograde. And honestly, to tell you the truth, it doesn't affect my life because I didn't pay attention to it because it wasn't even in my reality, right? All of a sudden, right. Then it comes into my freaking reality. I'm like, oh, okay. So what does it mean? It means anything that needs to be undone gets undone, and miscommunications happen because it's just more practice. Miscommunication, not understanding, misunderstandings. This is a really good time with Mercury retrograde, which is almost over, y'all, to really sit down and examine why these things are happening in our life. And this came up now like 3 times because it came into my freaking reality. I'm like, oh, okay. So miscommunication, and I was sharing a little bit about that with you a bit ago. How does miscommunication affect you in your life? Anybody who's watching right now, I want you to sit and I want you to think about, how does it affect you? How does it affect you, Walt?
How does it affect me? Oh, God, it's almost instantaneous, actually, in my life, especially in the gardening business, because one miscommunication and it 10 minutes later because the client's on the phone because he just talked to the gardener and the gardener had the wrong information and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's instant. Talk about this. It's not instant gratification, but it's instant feedback. I'll tell you that.
It really is. But with miscommunication, what I have found is I'm so busy being right that I don't stop to listen and let in some light. And I'm not even being curious what's real for another person or what's curious. I had some experiences come up, and we were talking about this because I love and I'm honored to be here on LOA Today. And my schedule's nuts all the time. And I'm constantly traveling because I'm being called to be of service, and I love this. But I get busy trying to figure out the solutions of how in the world this is all working. And I've got these commitments being, and it's not just with Walt. Last month we had an event going on. We had live streaming with LOA today. I had my own interviews on Spirituality Gone Wild, all this stuff, and my laptop died. So I traveled with a desktop to an area that's remote off the grid. And nobody ever knows how important having electricity pumped into your house is until you live off the grid. And then actually the beauty of living off grid is that you're not doing that, and you're leaving a carbon neutral footprint on the planet. That's actually what it was about.
Sure.
But when you are instant gratification, having your stuff just work when you expect it to work, and it doesn't, and then you can't do anything about it.
Right. Oh yeah.
I can't drive. Look, there is no local Starbucks to drive to get to even go and try to. I don't even know how you take a desktop to the local. There is no solution other than being clear with communication. And even that became a challenge because I had no reception. And if the electricity was off, I can't log into the internet, can't get reception, can't tell anybody what's going on, can I?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you all, here's what I experienced. My own dropping the ball of not understanding what that might look like. And when it got there, making sure that I was so busy trying to get the commitment to come through that I forgot to kind of mention, by the way, I'm facing challenges that I may not be able to come through like I thought, because this is what's happening here. It was a trip. What I noticed is when we don't use the tool of curiosity, though, we tend to overlook the possibility that somebody may have something going on in their life that is above and beyond circumstances that they can control. And what I discovered is that when people feel let down because of miscommunication, not readdressing the agreement, that then it seems like we get some sort of feelings going on out there. Now it's the important part is, how can I better communicate with other people? How can I, whenever I am faced with a situation, how can I resolve it with the most love and the most compassion necessary? Curiosity is a guide to greatness. Kirk, I love you. I'm going to tell you all what we need to get Kirk Nurmi onto LOA today for sure.
Kirk, okay.
Oh, he's one of the most dynamic human beings on the planet, and he's just amazing. I love this, and it's so the tool of curiosity is making me look at my own things and my own commitments, and when I need to readdress an agreement that's been made because for some reason it's not unfolding the way it needs to. And I feel like if I had paid better attention to that, I could have resolved situations with a cleaner outcome and a more everyone felt heard, seen, and loved outcome. So that's my vibe. What do you feel about that? Have you ever experienced something like this?
Just in general, let me go back a step. Communication for me, I think, is the most overlooked issue on the planet. And I don't mean just for conscious creators, I mean for everybody, because it is the hardest skill we human beings have to learn. And it affects us in so many ways. I mean, you identified some of them really, really well now, including the technology side of it, because we're so used to that instant gratification of having that instant connectivity and being able to just do all this stuff, and which is great. I mean, it's wonderful to have the ability to do a StreamYard or do a Zoom session, with your friends who are halfway across the planet and so forth. But like you point out, we kind of take the technology for granted at times. And when we lack it, when it's missing, oh my goodness, does it absolutely upset our lives. So that's just one example of it. But another way that communication can be a real challenge is just in understanding how the give and take of communication works on a day-to-day basis. I mean, again, something we take for granted. And I think it's almost, I won't say it's a lost art, because it really isn't a lost art, but it's an art that people aren't paying as much attention to anymore because they have so much information coming in, they feel like they don't need to. But the simple fact is, that's when you need it the most. You need it the most when all that information is coming in, because you have to be able to cut through it all in order to have the other person hear you, and you have to cut through it all in order for you to hear the other person. Totally. I mean, if the technology is getting in the way, if the instant gratification is getting in the way, I guarantee the communication is going to fail. And that's where everything starts to fall apart.
I totally agree with that. And also other people having expectation.
Oh, sure.
And that's another thing. What happens when you're not meeting somebody else's expectation? Well, I say this. I say yes from the get. And if I said a yes, what I meant to know. And people let you know what their expectations are if you're actively listening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then this comes up with the whole, boundaries have been coming up a lot lately. People and boundaries. It's like this ongoing.
You know what's funny about boundaries? Boundaries will come up when you least want them to. I mean, they just like, okay, it's time for the next lesson. You've been ignoring me for a while. And that's what happens. They just pop right up.
Hey, Mr. Boundary, how you doing there, buddy? So what are boundaries good for? Are seriously self-love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So when you love yourself enough to seriously say, I really love you and I appreciate everything that you're bringing. However, I'd really like to talk about what I'm not comfortable with right now because it's important. Now, when I do that, I don't always get, oh, I'll get you, honey, blah, blah, blah. I may get their ego going, well, and I'm talking about more like with my sons when I do that. And then, right. Oh, no, I've got some people who could do that. And then I turn around and then I'm going, because that's all it is that ego going back and forth.
Yeah, pure reaction.
Yeah. No response, no no connected timeout, like taking a breath for a minute and realizing that all of us are seeking to be loved, period. This precious need that we've all got. And that's what you have, Walt, and it's what every person listening right now has, and it's what I have. We all have that precious need. And until that we make an active choice to uncover what that precious need is through boundary setting, I think that we're going to continue to follow into this thing of back and forth bantering because we're not getting our true need met.
And as you pointed out earlier, really the root of the whole thing is the self-love piece. Because if you're loving yourself enough, you're not depending on somebody else to give you that love that you're looking for. Not that you shouldn't get it from somebody else. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying you don't want to depend on it. You don't want to make that your one and only source. So the primary source needs to be internal. And when the primary source is the internal one, the one that you're loving yourself with, and you're also getting the love from outside, whoa, that's the best possible combination you could have in the world, because now you're just bathed in it. Right?
Yes, you all. You heard that. Yes. Now, let's take somebody who is perpetually single, like Debbie. By choice, are you? By choice. Mm-hmm. Okay? Look, I want to pretend I'm going to try the dating thing until I try the dating thing. And then I realize my boundaries are just like, what I've discovered is that there is that key element to loving ourselves that's so important. And when you love yourself enough, anybody that you might be slightly interested in, and this is my experience, I look at them and go, nah, until you love yourself fully, there's no way in hell you got shit to give to me. Sorry, oops, I did it. Okay, you won't have.
Well, it only took 19 minutes this time. I mean, so this is good.
Well, good.
I mean, I think you set a record here. That's good.
I think I did. Yeah. I did. I hit a record. I'm loving that. I just love that. Anyway, so, but there was this aspect of, now, if I see somebody not loving themselves, what am I mirroring back to myself? Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be like our key and accountability Self accountability. I don't mean beat the crud out of yourself. I'm talking about just being accountable. If I'm seeing it, what am I seeing? And does that mean anything other than maybe that person needs a little bit more reassurance and love that they're really okay?
You touched on a really good point there too. I don't want to skip past it, which is the importance of not beating yourself up, or to put it another way, to not judging yourself. In other words, you want to be accountable to yourself without judging yourself. You want to be accountable to others without judging others. It's separating the judging element that really makes all the difference in the world, I think.
I love this. Okay, so let's talk about that. When we have the ego, that is blame, shame, judgment, criticism, all of those things. Right. There's a beautiful shift, and the shift of response, the shift of observation would be this: to the willingness to be curious about what's real for you and what's real for another. The willingness to be accepting. When you're judging, are you willing to be accepting?
I actually like to get excited about what somebody else's perception is. I don't always do it, but I've gotten pretty good at it. And it's fun. That. It's actually fun that way.
It is fun. Well, you know what? I've been in this little bit of, okay, y'all, look, I'm not a conspiracy theory person at all. I'm playing everybody's playground, so I know what's up out there. My gosh, I've had the worst time not being a judgy ninny. I've had a hard time. I'm going to own it. When I see it, and I'm like, and let me tell you why. Because I'm judging it. There is no reason. Now I'm judging the judge. I just judged it.
I love the way you said that. That was great.
There's no excuse. I'm just being judgy. You know what? Why? Who am I to tell somebody that their perspective isn't right? Who the hell am I? This little speck of sand in the freaking universe, nothing special but unique as hell, to tell somebody else that they need to do something a certain way or believe a certain way, or how that they're believing isn't right. Does that mean I agree with it? Hell no.
No, of course not.
But does it mean that they've got every right in the world that I need to zip it? Zip it. Sure. So that's going to be, thank you. Yes. I see how much we love Kirk. Look at him.
When you judge others, you are judging yourself. Absolutely. 100%.
Totally, dude. Totally. But it was a good observation for me because, and Kirk, he used to be a world famous attorney. Amazing. He is an amazing man. So intelligent. He lived his life in the space of judgment and defending people. Maybe he wasn't, and I'm not going to bring any of that up. I'm going to tell you, he's got some real rooted information, which is why I love having him on. Oh my God. Because he's got real rooted information in this world of applying what it means to not be like that in a different situation than any of us are used to.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. But I love this. But the judging is back to the acceptance. Can we shift to being accepting? Can we get curious why it's coming up for us that it's bugging us? You know?
And no, Kirk, I don't think that she's being too kind. I think she's being just kind enough. I think she's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, you just, I mean, I know you now for like 5 minutes, and in the 5 minutes I know you, she's absolutely right about you. Yeah.
Totally. Oh my God.
Yep.
You know, so there's this shift, and this is all about the law of attraction, y'all. Everything we're talking about, because listen, if your communication is straight, if the way that you are treating yourself in your mind, if you're being curious with yourself, if you're being willing to adjust and shift and be flexible within that spirit, that's where creation is happening, and it's literally manifesting. Because you're not pushing against what it is that you're trying to create. And when we are not communicating with ourselves or with others, like in a way that is creative, that's creating that environment, it's going to be really hard to see the law of attraction coming out into your life.
Interesting you should say that. Well, I understand what you're saying. I'll tell you what, though. now this is my perspective, and I know my perspective is not most people's perspective, but I never had trouble seeing, once I understood the concept, I never had trouble seeing the law of attraction coming out in my life. What I had trouble with is trying to figure out how to control it because I felt like I was like being steamrolled by it, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. Like how? I'm curious.
Well, I really grasped very early in the process of understanding the whole concept how everything in my life had come to me through the law of attraction. Everything, without exception. I mean, it was a little bit mind-blowing at first, but over time I got used to it. And as I thought about it, I realized, well, not only was it the stuff I wanted, it was also the stuff I didn't want. And boy, did I want, did I want? No, diswant isn't the word. Not want, let's put it that way. I did not want a whole lot of stuff that I kept focusing on and bringing into my life. I was really good at that. I still am, actually. I mean, that's a skill that you don't give up, I don't think. But, but the point is, I got it. And I realized, oh my God, I mean, this is like a major deal, trying to learn how to navigate, how to keep my mind so under control at all times that I am going where I want to go without beating myself up. I mean, whoa, that to me, that's the hard part, is not trying to figure out, am I detecting when the law of attraction is working? It's trying to swim to the surface of it.
You crack me up. I love you. Yeah. And in my world, it's been communication with myself, but it all back to that self-love. It's self-nurturing. So let's give some, okay, well, hey, anybody out there, what tools do you have? What do you do to self-nurture? What do you do, Walt?
I have a morning routine that I do every day. It starts with a couple of meditations that I created for myself as guided meditations so that I have them recorded that I can play back. They include a mirror exercise that I do. And then I also have I call it my video board, or, people have vision boards. I have a video board. It's basically a video of things that I'm drawing into my life. So I play all these in succession, and I think the whole thing takes me about half an hour, something like that. So that's how I begin my day. And then I've talked about this quite a bit this past week. Throughout the day, I'm constantly taking my internal vibrational temperature every few minutes, every 5, 10, 15 minutes. How are you doing? How are you feeling right now? And a lot of the time lately, the energy question has been answered with, I'm not feeling so good. I'm feeling out of control. So, take a moment to just rebalance as best you can. And sometimes I'm better at it. Sometimes I'm worse at it. But the point is, I'm doing it. I'm taking the time to do it. And I think that's probably the best thing I've learned so far is setting myself up early in the day with the best vibration I can start with, and then revisiting throughout the day to see where I'm at.
Oh, I love that. He's sparking that G vibe, but good.
Well, that's just how far I've gotten so far in my first 12 years of learning this stuff.
So what I do, okay, so right now at this moment, I am currently into the teachings of the Tao Te Ching. And that is through Dr. Wayne Dyer's book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I open it up, and today I think was verse 38, and it was beautiful. So that's one of mine. And then I have an accountability partner that also is reading it with me. And I love that. So we share that back and forth. And there's this song called Sunday's Best. If you guys go into YouTube and just put Sunday's Best, it is so cool. Feeling good, like I should. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got the sunshine on my Sunday best. It's just a really, like, it pumps you up. And then there's the I Am song by Satsang or Satsang, whichever way you want to say it. SATSANG. Not promos, y'all. Seriously, this is what I listen to. And then right now, I'm stuck on this song, oh my God, by Mary Isis, which is called Earth Child by Mary Isis. And it's just so rad. So I have those three. And I like to dance around and get my vibration moving, like pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. And there's just this whole energy and vibration, taking my vitamins, taking my sea moss. I love sea moss with bladderwrack and burdock root. Such a killer. 102 of my essential minerals in that, man. what I'm putting in my body has became like super important. And Kirk is been working his tail end off. He's looking hot. You're looking hot there, buddy. But those are some of my practices. The other thing
I have a couple in common, by the way. There, I didn't identify everything that I do. One of my favorite things to do is to take nature walks. It's sort of a combination nature walk and path walk. We have what they call rails to trails paths going through our area here, and there's one that's right next to where we live. So I get on that every single day, and usually go out there with my headphones and my iPhone and just play music the whole way. And it's like the best thing in the world because I'm breathing in all this nature, especially today. Today's weather was absolutely gorgeous. Deep blue sky, perfect,
right?
Low 70s. I mean, just absolutely fabulous. And I'm playing this music in the background. I was playing the Pretenders today and just, bopping down the path there. And by the time I got back, I mean, my vibration had gone. If my vibration was at a 10 before, it was at a 20 when I got back. It was that kind of a thing. Yeah.
I love that. And it was, okay, check it out. It was a new moon last night. So I love that you're talking about nature and stepping out in nature. Let's see if y'all can see this.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Wait,
I love that.
Right there?
Yeah.
My nails are pretty cute too. You see those? That's just Strickel. Just saying. It was just an absolutely extraordinary evening with people that I love, and let's see. It was amazing. This is part of self-nurturing, self-care. Be with people that you are in heart alignment with, that you that your heart like,
Yes. I agree with that completely. In fact, I think that's actually an essential place that we try to get to as conscious creators if we're really paying attention, because I'll kind of do a gardening metaphor since my wife and I are in the gardening business. If you're a gardener, you want to pull out the weeds, you want to prune the bushes, you want to pull out the dead wood. You're basically cleaning out the stuff that doesn't serve the garden and turn it into a nice garden. And the same thing is going to be true with your personal relationships. You want to prune, you want to trim, you want to weed, you want to pull out the stuff that's not serving your overall relationship sphere of influence. And if you do that, whether you're doing it on social media or just in real life, you get a wonderful, balanced set of relationships. And it's the best. It's absolutely the best.
It really is, seriously. Last night, I got to meet somebody that I've only chatted with online, and like we have phone calls for quite some time now. It was so cool. It was so cool. I was hanging out with one of and then I was just a big giant love fest of joy. That's all I know, because that's just the intention that we start off with. I make the intention to go forward with unconditional love to the best of my ability, and who may I be of service to. And gratitude is one of my mantras that I made up, because I think that that's true. I love this. You're going for walks with your boyfriend. What's Kirk say? Loving this conversation. I love you, Kirk. You're so rad. He's so cool. He really is. He's just amazing. There's just so many.
By the way, I like this one too. Talk to water with love before drinking it. When we filter our water, I actually talk to the pitcher that way. I get it. Yeah.
Well, and okay, so let's talk about the scientific reasons why that rocks. Because Dr. Emoto did all of this research, and Dr. Emoto's work showed that water has memory. It structures. And believe it or not, just your words alone will structure the water. And here I've got a test for you. So get a water in one hand and get a water in your other hand. Use glass. One of them you're going to just put aside, okay? The other one you're going to send your intentions to. Do this for a couple of minutes. Okay, just sit with it, and then take a drink of each one.
Oh, it's very different.
Totally, it's almost sweet. It's almost sweet.
It is. It's exactly the word sweet. Yes.
And it's totally cool. So
it is. It's quite the experiment to do, and it's quick. You don't have to spend a lot of time on that one.
Totally. So how do we? Okay, here's a good one. You take it, Walt, and I'll go after you. How do you tap into your Abraham Hicks? What I'm imagining that you're meaning, Marissa, is how do we tap into our source? Our stream of consciousness.
Okay, that's good. I mean, for me, my answer to that is to also draw from Abraham Hicks. They say if you want to it, have anything improve in your life, you want to improve your ability to manifest. You want to improve how your life is going. And no matter what you're doing, raise your vibration. It
Mm-hmm.
all comes down to raise your vibration. So how do I tap into my Abraham Hicks? I raise my vibration. It's that straightforward. I mean, this is not complex.
Oh my God. Spark the G vibe. It's your vibration. It's all about your vibe. Your vibe is
It is,
everything.
yeah.
Your life, it's all the vibe. Okay, let's talk about the vibe. Listen.
Okay.
Did I already talk about the time when I was on the way back recently from did I talk about this last? I didn't talk about this, I don't think. Okay, guys, let me tell you how the vibration works instantaneously. Good and bad, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's good and bad. So Lord.
You can just tell this is definitely a sore point still.
And I just have to own my stuff all the time. And it's just like, I love owning my stuff, but this one. So,
well, I mean, it's a challenge. Let's be perfectly honest. This stuff isn't easy. I mean,
okay,
working through this stuff takes work. So it's totally understandable.
Well, sometimes I can get a little mouthy. Just saying. When I have a.
There are worse things in life.
Little mouthy. And this mouthy was to do with mask wearing.
Okay. I'm sure you're not the only one.
I don't give a hoot a doody if I gotta wear the stupid thing, which I'm not. I'm just not about it. But who gives? I don't love it because it messes up my makeup.
I love it. That's funny.
I get makeup all on the inside, and I wear a mask. I don't want it wasted on a mask. I'm sorry, but okay, fine. I'm gonna wear the damn thing. So. So somebody says that they had an issue because they didn't want to wear it and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I would have kicked you off too.
Oh, you don't shy away from controversy, do you?
Well, hell, that was a reaction.
No kidding. Yeah.
And it was a judgment.
Yeah, you kind of loaded it all together, didn't you?
One big giant loop to the bow.
Yeah.
I would have. Okay, y'all. Look, and then I get back in the car. And this person's with me in the car. And I'm thinking,
okay.
Oh, Lord, here it is.
Mm.
So I'm thinking to myself as I get back on the freeway, that wasn't cool, Debbie. That wasn't even right on any level. And you know that. And this is what my Jiminy Cricket's on my shoulder going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The little conscience.
Yeah. Hello. Mm. And I'm over there going, shut up.
Yeah, right.
And, I get it. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I really need to rectify this. I'm like, yeah, but I really would have. Right? Shit, as soon as that happens, I noticed that my tire is going flat because my car comes on and it tells me that it's going flat. I'm like, really?
Talk about instant response.
Vibration. Now, what vibration was I in? I was in Miss Snooty Pants, thinks she knows it all, is going to have an opinion vibration and going to tell people what's up. Yeah, no. Okay, I thought I would do some, and granted, I'm going to actually go further and explain this because I want you guys to get this because I really had to go through some deep self-evaluation after the 2 hours of sitting there in the heat while this was going on in the middle of the freaking desert at 110. Did I mention 110 heat?
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll pick you up.
Okay, so I sat there and I thought about this and I'm thinking, now, Debbie, y'all know that was not cool. So I actually expressed that was not, I apologized. I said, I'd like to apologize. I never say I'm sorry because I'm not a sorry ass. I say, I apologize. I never do I am and then sorry. Are you joking? No way. That's a little tippy too for all you. But this whole, I'm telling you, I had to apologize. And I really earnestly I meant it at this point. I'm like, yeah, I see that. And I know I was wrong. And okay.
But
I said, well, but here's, let's get to the truth. What value? Okay. So if that was pissing me off, what value was it not meeting in my life that I hold dear to my heart?
Good question.
Okay. So I had to look at that. It wasn't meeting my value for two things: integrity and respect. And let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. Because those people that are having to enforce it are doing a job. They're being told they have to.
That's true.
And I'm like, they didn't ask for that. They didn't ask for anyone to come in and be a pain in the ass or any of that. They are doing a job. That's it. End of story. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my value for respect is respecting the person who's just doing their job.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's where that came from.
Which is good.
But is it my business? No.
Not really.
Is it my business? I interfered. So I wasn't practicing the art of non-interference, number one. Mm-hmm. And I was attached to the what I thought an outcome should be. I'm attached to what I think that should look like, rather than just holding space for this person who got kicked off the plane. Mm. And instead of saying, yeah, I would have kicked your ass off too, I could have just, listen, holding space. Notice I'm not should have emailed myself. I'm saying I could have said, I imagine that was really tough for you and the people involved. Instead, I had to go get myself nosing on in there. And creating some sort of chaotic experience so I could sit and figure myself out one more time around the mountain. Here we go, Debbie. All the while I'm still sitting there waiting for my thing to get done. By the way, the tire got fixed. Thank you, Joe. And we were on the road and all good again. But our vibration, doing what's right when we know to do what's right, and when we don't do what's right, and you know it, and you bring down your internal vibrations simply because of the fact you darn well know better. That doesn't mean I beat myself up, though.
And we've all done it. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Not necessarily with a flat tire as the result, but there's always some kind of result. And we've all been there. We've been through it. And yeah, I think it's part of what we're trying to learn. We're trying to learn how to do that less often, how to, tie into the good feeling stuff more often. I remember when the pandemic first hit, it was like the first month or so. So that would be like April 2020, something like that.
Uh-huh.
I remember Esther Hicks started doing her virtual workshops because obviously that's where everything was going at that particular point in time. And somebody asked her, what's your take? What is Abraham's take on the mask wearing thing? Because that was a big issue up at that point. And the answer that Abraham came back with was, I thought, really a very interesting answer and a good one, I thought. They said, if we're us, and they weren't telling what other people to do, they just said, if it were us, what we would do is we would wear the mask so that those who feel the need to wear masks because of their fear would have their fears allayed. And I thought that was a really heartfelt way of looking at the whole situation. In fact, that's what I adopted for myself from that point on. I thought, wow, that's really cool. I'm going with that one.
I like that. That. I also love, look at this. Let's bring this up. Look at this. So the trigger is that you felt attacked for standing true to your values, and the person you were protecting was yourself.
Yeah, very well said. That was beautiful.
Seriously, right? I just, love that. And absolutely. But I love that you do the trigger work too, because we know when there's a trigger coming up, it's always for ourselves to evaluate what's happening. It's not a bad thing. Triggers are not a bad thing in my world. Triggers are the best thing in the world because they show me something that I get to see that maybe I wasn't viewing before, and it shifts my perspective.
Oh, yeah, they're useful information. I told a story about this earlier in the week. I'll kind of reiterate it for a second here. We have the staff that we have of our gardeners who work in the service are excellent. Yeah. They're all top quality. They are all great people. We actually tend to recruit people who are very calm and well-balanced people. So it's a really great staff. However, there was one situation this past week where two of the gardeners were kind of at each other's throats a little bit, not in a big way, but in a little way. And I wanted to kind of nip it in the bud before it got too far. So I drove out to the job site they were on to talk with them both. And they were both kind of triggered at that particular point in time. They just had triggered each other. And they were working in different areas of the garden. So it was okay in that sense, but you could tell the vibe just didn't feel right. And so I started using some of the tools that I knew to help, to mediate, to help calm the thing down. I started by just, even as I was driving there, just holding each of them in my mind and just imagining them feeling calm and cool and feeling okay and feeling positive and the way that they normally are as human beings. And then when I got there, I took that same mindset and went to talk to each one of them and basically just heard out each side, what they were saying. And I could tell quickly where the discrepancy had happened. One person had thought that they had said one thing and the other person had thought they'd heard another thing, that's just pure perception, right? Now, and they both were telling the truth as far as they knew. Neither one was trying to pull the wool over my eyes. They just had two entirely different viewpoints of what had actually happened.
Yeah.
And so I didn't worry about that part. I identified, I said, okay. And I basically did a little quick ho'oponopono. Just, I'm sorry, forgive me. I love you. I forget what the phrases are, but you know which ones they are.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. That's it. Yeah. Yep, I just did a quick one for each one of them in my mind. And then I asked each one of them to just give each other a little bit more space, give each other a little bit more respect, and see if we could get through the day. And it went beautifully. The entire day went beautifully.
I love that. I love that. And I have done that. I've just sat there and concentrated love energy to somebody that might be pissed at me. I get people pissed at me sometimes, y'all. Just go figure. And
I think we all do at times.
Yeah, I think we all do. And it's all right. It's always miscommunication, which is something I talk a lot, and you would think that communication came naturally to me, which it did. How to properly communicate has been something I have to work on really hard. And so I love how you just shared that, because if we can just take a minute to just do that, it's like,
well, it's great to know. It's great to know how to do it. I think that's probably the message I was trying to send. I learned how to do that, and I'm excited that I learned how to do that.
Well, I love that you just shared how to do that, and y'all.
Well, that too, yeah.
The Hawaiian prayer is an 18,000-year-old prayer that has been around. I mean, obviously, that's a long time. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. No, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm all messing it up now. Please forgive me.
It's in any order. I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. I love you. It's any of those.
Something like that. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So, you guys, it works. It works.
It does.
It works. This weekend, if I can encourage everybody to take a step back, and the very person that you think that you're upset with, just realize that life is just too short. It's just too short. You don't have any guarantees for tomorrow, and you don't have a guarantee that anybody is here tomorrow. And I know from whence I speak about this, because we've lost a lot of people in this world. Like, not lost them. They're not gone anywhere. Okay. It's not that, but their human being isn't here. And that is always tough. So these very people, it's like the gravity of how much it matters is really what I'm really, does it really matter that much?
Not really.
Not much. I mean,
not in the final scheme. No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Somebody, I was interviewing with Andrew today, and he was saying, that we were talking about, in the end, it doesn't really matter. And he was really loving that, because now I'm forgetting what he said. It was really profound.
You're talking about Andrew Kaplan?
I am talking about Andrew Kaplan.
I recorded with him yesterday, so we got it back to back. How about that?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it was a great conversation. Okay, anyway, y'all, I don't even know.
Well, he's a great conversation by himself. Let's be perfectly honest.
Oh my gosh,
he's a great interview, and he's a great interviewer. So yeah.
If you guys haven't yet grabbed the book, the Last Law of Attraction book, You'll Ever Need, I would highly encourage you to probably do that. It might be a great thing, and I love that. So I think that's wonderful. I want to actually do a little shift here. I want to tell everybody who's listening and watching right now and later about something really important that's coming up. And Walt, you're going to be part of this. So it's super important. TheMindArmy.org. I want to talk about that. That is plant intelligence, or plant-based medicines that are helping a lot of people out there in this world. They're showing that psilocybin is curing the depression. It's knocking down the suicide rate in strokes. Iboga or ibogaine, they're proving, is resetting the brain and people are being healed from opiate and heroin addiction. And to prove that, y'all can go look at Reborn, 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 the Lamar Odom documentary by Zappy Zaplin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that we've got a huge event that's going to be coming up, and we're going to be teaching everyone everything that there is to know about this process. So if you have someone in your life that's hurting, know that there's even more answers now that are a little bit different than our traditional quote unquote recovery. Josie Herndon, who has her show Drama to Dharma, which is on Thursday nights on Spirituality Gone Wild, Josie will, which is super exciting. Josie's husband's been to arrhythmia and has experienced the healing effects of ayahuasca. Now, I'm not telling y'all you need to go do plant medicine. What I'm saying to you is that there's just another facet of tools out there that are going to be available. Let's keep in mind that everything that we've talked about now and all the stuff we talked about, all these other tools are essential and necessary, and all of our practices are. This just has to do with a different level of what is possible. Michael Beckwith, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, JP Sears, Kyle Cease have all been to arrhythmia that is over in Costa Rica. And if you go and look, you'll see. And this isn't a plug for them either. This is seriously, you guys, there's tools out there and nobody has to suffer anymore. To legalize it would also mean to free the plant prisoners. And if we can free the plant prisoners, that'd be awesome. You'll see a lot of that coming forward from Bruce Perlman, who owns Hemp Incorporated. It's also one of the most notorious not drug smugglers. He only smuggled pot. And he served like 8 years. That, of course, he did meet Silvana there. You know, that was like
that's the trade-off, right? Okay.
Well, that is the Russian spy too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I have a crazy life, and I love to share it with everybody. But this in particular coming up here is even more important than anything else. You know, back in don't have it up, and I'll get you guys the reports on the next time on next Friday. One of our darling presidents went ahead and made it illegal back in the 50s or 60s, one of those two. And I got to go back and look at that. Nixon, I believe, did that. It might have been 70s. And the reason is because they wanted to study it for safety. Not only are we studying it for safety, but now we're seeing the actual benefits of the natural medicine for our natural bodies. We are the earth. The earth is us. There's a lot more to be involved. That's all involved in this. I just want to tell you all, it's coming up. If you're curious, look at YouTube. Reborn, the Lamar Odom story. Watch it. Watch The Reality of Truth. Check out themindarmy.org. And if you are so inclined, sign the petition so that we can get this legalized. It's already in Colorado. It's already been decriminalized. And I'm in California. We're going to be next. Because
number of states that are already there,
yeah. So this is some pretty big stuff, you guys. We're talking about mental health and this and how important it's so important. And Lamar is doing a bunch of tours right now about mental health, and that's going to be some of the stuff you're going to see coming up with LOA Today and Spirituality Gone Wild both, because we have some huge events coming regarding this,
which is really cool. I like that. I especially like the focus on mental health too, partly because I like the term. So much of what we talk about where illness is concerned are terms that are about illness.
Right.
And so much of the way that health as a word is kind of misused these days, it's almost like we don't even have a healthy word anymore. But the way you're talking about mental health is the way I'm thinking about mental health. I don't think about quite so much in terms of plant substances or so forth. I think about it more in terms of the vibration. But either way, the point is we're talking about true health. And that's the thing that I'm really liking about it. Because true health is really, that's high vibrational.
Completely. And I agree with you 100%. And anything that's going to free us, anything. And I also encourage people to make sure they're using a proper facility like Daniel Gutierrez over in Peru at Catalinas, or somebody like Jerry Powell's facility that's in Costa Rica. or wherever. As you'll see in the movie, everything was done in a medical facility. So one of the things that's important about this is that understanding it isn't just something you go out and do. This is microdosing. This is different. And well, actually, they're not microdosing. The ketamine treatments what blew me away. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go try. I want to go experience ketamine, and not to make it sound like it just looks. They're coming back going, wow, and I'm just like, okay, well, it's pretty rock star. So I wanted to throw that out there because just some more fun we're going to be working on.
I'm glad that you queued everybody up about what's going to be happening there, because it's important to know what's coming down the pike. I think it's important not just in terms of what we're going to be doing for ourselves, but what we can share with others. And I think that's probably the biggest part of that kind of a message. It gives us the opportunity to share with others. So thanks for bringing it up. That's good. I like that. Sure. I want to take a moment also to remind people something else they can share. That's the LOA Today app, which is a wonderful way. Yeah, it's a wonderful way to not only reach out to us because it has communication stuff built in there, little forms you can use to send us messages, but you can also hear the 25 most recent episodes. And this is probably the most important part. We have all these little goodies built in. In fact, it's under the goodies section. It actually says goodies. You click goodies in order to see them. And the goodies include 2 ebooks, a video course, an audio course, a compilation of manifestation stories. I mean, and they're all free. They're all built right into the app. So take advantage, download it for your whatever device you're using, iPhone, Android, PC, Mac, doesn't matter, and play it. It's yours free. And it's our thank you to you for being a listener. So thank you, listener. We appreciate you very, very much. And I appreciate you, Debbie. I appreciate the messages you're sharing today. You're always on your game, but you were really on your game today. You know that.
Thank you.
You were. Seriously. I like this too.
I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited about coming on today, and I'm going to be traveling for 2 weeks. So the next time you guys see me tune in, I'm going to be tuning in from Colorado again, and I'm pretty excited about that. And I just want to say a huge gratitude moment, Walt. Thank you for bringing LOA Today to all of us, and please do go download the app. You can also find it in our Grateful Living magazine at spiritualitygonewild.com. Grateful Living, and you can download it there. Look for the edition with Lamar Odom on the front and check it out. Right inside, you're going to see all of LOA Today's information in there, and we love you.
Absolutely. We love every single one of you. Thank you also to the live streamers. Boy, you guys are just plugging in all these little contributions. I couldn't even run them through the screen fast enough, but really, really, really great of you all to be here. Very much appreciated. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the weekend, but next week we got some really cool stuff coming up. Just a couple of little clues. On Monday, we're going to be doing Warrior Rule number 6 for those of you who've been following Amy Blackford's Warrior Rules. Tuesday, we're going to be doing more energy and psychic work with both Shelley and with Dean. And Wednesdays are actually becoming like the super cool day because we got Cindy Chavez and her good friend Jackie Gates is joining us. And I got to tell you, Debbie, I don't know if you tuned into the show, but oh my God. The energy on that show rivals this one. I mean, Friday's show is now Friday has set the bar. Wednesday is aiming to clear the bar. So we're going to have to go even a little bit higher.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it's like really powerful. Yeah. So
I can do it.
All right. So, basically the challenge has been thrown down.
All right, you guys, go down this weekend, and who are you grateful for? Remember, self-care, self-nurturing, self-first is not selfish. Go rock that like a bad person you are.
Wow. Write that one down. That's beautiful. So thank you, Debbie. Thank you to our live streamers. Thank you especially to our podcast listeners, without whom we would not have a podcast to even do. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.